Same place like today?
No, back at where we were.
Where we were today or where we were yesterday?
Where we were yesterday. This is today only.
We do have two operators of the shape of the pan.
All right, folks, you all ready to get started? Does anybody need to use the restrooms at all? There are no restroom breaks for each, or there are no water breaks for each. That's your last opportunity. Those from the order here. Everybody else? Okay. We'll get started. How you guys doing today? Great. All right, so this side of the tour is ready. How about yeah, go ahead and run up to security real quick and get another way. All right, excellent. Welcome to the National Weather Center, everyone. My name is Pat. I'm your tour guide today. I'm the expert leader for the National Outreach Visual Content. I like to call myself the director of content.
Nice.
Knowing all of that, you might. Elementary education. Elementary education.
Anthropology.
Meteorology, yes. I was asking for meteorology, so you are actually talking to meteorologists at all along the tour today. Please ask me. Also, if you have any building questions, I have been giving building graph. So if you have any questions about the building too, please let me know. Wow.
It's a baby.
Hey, Henry or whoever's holding the phone.
What's really cool about the National Weather Center is this is the only National Weather Center in the galaxy. Anywhere else. We can have over 500 people inside the National Weather Center at one time. We have the largest meteorology program in the nation that's composed of 300 global students, undergraduate and graduate program inside the weather center. Why do you suppose that students want to be all over studying weather? Yes, everybody loves severe weather, so they come from all different places. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't even know Oklahoma existed on the map, but this building wasn't even here yet, so they had to convince me to come here. I actually saw the model that so the school meteorology is here at the fifth floor of the building. We have state groups. We have Oklahoma Climate Survey. Climate Survey is operating the environmental observation network. That's MESNet. If you look at the top right, our weather wall here, you can see products from the Oklahoma MESNet. We have 120 of those weather observations that are all over Oklahoma, all 77 counties. And there's weather attached to those powers. All across the state. We literally know what's happening weather-wise all across the weather app. Download app on the App Store. Like best weather app. Sorry for the rest of the folks who might not have Oklahoma. The MESNet does not exist in every state. More about a handful of states actually have something similar to what we have here. MESNet. Nobody really has it. We also have 5 groups that fall under the big umbrella of NOAA, part of the Department of Commerce. You guys know what the acronym is. All right, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I heard like bits and pieces from everybody around here. So good, we got that. So the 5 groups represented here. We have the Radar Operations Center. They are responsible for operating and maintaining all of the next-red Doppler weather radars in the U.S. So the reason there is Doppler weather radar technology in the U.S. is because this was weather radar tested back in 1960. We developed that technology here and made it operate all throughout the U.S. So you're welcome. You guys know when blobs are heading to the house because of what was done here in Norman, Oklahoma. We have also the National Severe Storms Laboratory, a very famous group that severe weather, flooding, working on scale weather prediction models, a lot of research done in the National Lab. We have the Warning Decision Training Division. They train all of the national weather They have to come here for a workshop before they can ever use their very mornings at the respective offices. There's 122 of those national weather all across the U.S., including Guam and Puerto Rico. We have the Northern National Forecast Office providing advisory water warning. Certain counties in Oklahoma, some counties in Texas also. We're going to go look at those as well. We also have one of 9 national centers for environmental prediction, part of NOAA. Upstairs in the second floor, we have the Storm Prediction Center. How many of you live in the continental United States? Have you ever received a severe thunderstorm warning watch? Yes, it's something like that. Second floor upstairs. So we're going to stand in front of those offices today. You guys are going to awkwardly stare at working right now, and you're going to see how that whole process works and where your severe thunderstorm and tornado watches come from, and then if you live in the local area here, where your advisory watches. So that's kind of the makeup of the Weather Center. We have a little bit of a trek to get up to the observation deck today because our middle elevator is broken. So if you guys do want to see our rooftop observatory, you can take the elevators up to the 5th floor and then walk up the stairs up to that observation deck. So we'll get a view out into a research campus. We'll talk a little bit more about all the different partners that are down here in University of Kansas. Does anybody know about anything? Start. You guys are free to take as many pictures as you'd like for today. The only restriction that we have is to go upstairs to the second floor, make sure you get the flash screen off on your cell phone or your camera. We'll go back to federal space so it doesn't bounce off the windows. I'll give you another reminder once we come. Yes, Jerry. Yes, don't tap on the glass, don't feed the forecasters. Again, I'll give you another reminder when we get up there. We average over 40,000 visitors to the National Weather Center every year. That's as many people as visiting the Fred Jones Jr. Art Museum on campus here at Oak. And the word that's in their title and not ours is museum. We are not a museum. We're a giant office building. We have over 40,000 people visiting a giant office building. So we're very unique. We're unique because this is the only one, and everybody has an interest in weather because it impacts every day. So we have a lot of visitors coming through here. Our atrium gets used for a variety of different events. So we have art shows, dance recitals, up-and-coming music stars are here from time to time. We've had wedding receptions, we've had wedding proposals. The National Toothpick Holder Collective Society is here for point 2. You just never know really who's going to come in here for events. We've got a couple of digital displays down here, so we can show lots of different types of weather information. So the first thing right behind me here, this is Science on a Sphere. It's not a clever name. Look, science. Yes, this is installed in over 100 locations across the globe. So if you go to a natural museum, science center, or another NOAA, there's a good chance you're going to see one of these on display. It's about 30 pounds, made out of fiberglass, about 6 feet in diameter, and we use surrounding 4 projectors to project a portion of the on the globe surface. Goes up and move them in unison, so it looks like one. So we can show atmospheric data sets, ocean data sets, astronomy data sets. Right now you're looking at ocean vorticity, so you can develop any situation. People that are hurricane forecasters, all those people at the National Hurricane Center in Miami, they have to take into account ocean air interaction whenever they're looking at hurricane and tropical storm activity, because those both play a vital role in whether it's intensified or slight pollution. So like on May 4th, we turned it into the Death Star for Star Wars. It can be a disco ball, a fish bowl, really anything you want you can bring up here on Science on a Sphere. I'm part of the educator forum with everybody that has Science on a Sphere everywhere on planet Earth. We can bounce ideas back and forth off each other. And we also have sphere casting capabilities. So if I were to host a Science here in the National Weather Center, I could simulcast it to every Science on a Sphere in the world, and everybody in the world would be watching my presentations. Very cool. Questions? What's that? Yeah. You want to play with it at home? You guys can go to sos.noaa.gov and you can download SOS Explorer Lite, and you can see all the products we have available here on our Science and Sphere website. It is not open source. But it's pretty much just a graphics visualization software that was put together by the folks at Boulder. It's really just showing and splicing, projection images. So really nothing too code heavy or intensive with all together. And there are smaller versions of this too. It's magic.
If we want to get one for our place.
If you want it, all the contact information's at sos.noaa.gov. Yep. Yes.
Cause trouble.
Just look at it. Yeah. Yeah, so there's, that's kind of near the intertropical convergence zone where you have, trade winds. You see the little peak that building up those orange, those really bright orange. Does anybody know what that is? Gulf Stream current. Yes. Yeah. So the Gulf Stream current's carrying that warm ocean water all the way up to North Europe. So yeah, you can see a lot of different. There's a giant thermal salt water all along the Atlantic to down all the way to Africa. Lots of there. Any other questions?
Just one comment.
Yes.
I'm going to stand uncomfortably close to you
Okay.
because of the sound.
We'll hug a little bit later.
Okay, yeah.
Up against our north wall here, we have our weather wall display with 946 a lot of weather information. We have SNES graphics. We also have DirecTV service throughout the building, so we can watch things like the Weather Channel, Battle Bots, whatever we want. Down there, we've got the graphics page from the National Weather Service Norman Sea Forecast Office upstairs, the second floor. You guys can go to weather.gov, type in the city that you live in. It's going to take you to your local Weather Service office, see all these different products, all the advisory warnings. Storm Prediction Center graphics down there in the bottom middle, so you can see storm reports and effective weather outlooks. We have a radar mosaic down there at the bottom left, so you can see weather all across the whole page. This is a classroom, so if somebody wants to have a class, you can plug in a laptop. That's down there in the bottom right. And you can have classes going on, chairs set up. Our Oklahoma Weather Lab, it's a student-run forecast group that has space right off the atrium here. Has a game night every semester, and they turn every TV here in the building into a place to play video games. It's one of the. So yes, you can't play video games on this. It's a giant version of it.
Do they play one big video game or 9 little ones?
Up the entire 9-screen
Oh.
setup. Yes.
Nice.
So multiplayer is a lot easier on something like that. Questions on our weather walls? Have you guys seen the movie Twister? You know it's the prereq for the tour, right? If you haven't seen it, then the exit's right. We're gonna head to the opposite side of the atrium so we can take a look at some movie stars we have here in the building. We're gonna do American Idol later on. Selfie staff number 1 on the tour. All right, so we have the props from the movie Twister on display here in the atrium of the Weather Center. We have Dorothy and Dot. There's actually 5 versions of each instrument that are kind of scattered in different places. If you'd like to go to their weather destination, you can go to the Twister Museum in Wichita, Oklahoma. It's right on Main Street. You can't miss it. And there's a whole bunch of other Twister things that are there in this display. There's also, somebody just bought Dorothy 4 on eBay for $7,000. If you wanted to know the going rate of one of these nowadays, about $7,000. You may be thinking, where did Michael Crichton and Steven Spielberg come up with an idea like this? They actually took that idea from the National Storm Laboratory, this house here. The orange barrel right next to Dorothy and Dot is Toto, the Totable Tornado Observer. This was an actual project by National severe storm laboratory scientists back in the early 80s. They were trying to place that path of the tornado, hoping that the tornado would pass on top of it, so they get information on the inside. You guys remember what was inside?
Flying balls.
Well, sensors. Yeah, they were sensors. What did they attach to the sensors to make them fly and flutter all over?
Cut up Pepsi cans.
Cans, exactly. Except, now we weren't cool enough to do that back in the 80s. Our barrel is filled with solid concrete. It's an over 400-pound instrument. The instruments there on top were what we used to get wind speed, also temperature, relative humidity, and pressure inside that. You guys know how easy it was to get one inside a tornado? All we had to do was strap it to a Dodge Ram and throw it to cruise control. Simple, right? We only have a couple Dodge Rams in the back. We don't have like 5. Just throw it at tornadoes. It was really hard to do. Toto takes up a grand total of 4 square feet, so we have to figure out where tornadoes can go next within about 4 square feet. No, impossible. Impossible. Inconceivable. Yes. So, and we only had 1 Toto. There was not 1,000 of them. We only had 1. So if you missed getting it in, that was the end of it. Not be able to back up, get back to follow. Got close a couple of times, but never made it inside. So you might be thinking failed project. Yes, to an extent. We learned things from our failure. Movie Twister came out in 1996. We now have mobile radars, mobile laboratories, and resonance that we can use to get information a little bit closer to storms. We have a brand new research group here in the National Weather Center called the Center for Autonomous Sampling. We're going to lead the world in drone here. These aren't little tiny drones that you guys buy at Best Buy, Walmart. We have implemented 8-color octocopters. They're about this big. And we're using them to study the boundary layer. So we have instruments attached to those drones, fly them up 3,000 feet and back down and do profiles of the atmosphere to figure out what's happening in those areas. Do you guys know what type of weather occurs between 0 and 3,000 feet? What part of the atmosphere do we live in?
0 feet.
0 feet. Yeah, so you know that every type of weather happens in that 0 area. You know that's the worst sample part of our atmosphere. That's scary, isn't it? Yeah. So we need to use these drones to pull that information for us to get a better idea of things that are going on, especially during times of severe weather around severe weather. Looking at the ingredients of life, super alpha. Why do certain thunderstorms have tornadoes and others don't? It's a little big question we have. We love citizen science. We need people to be out to pick you guys are the best out to pick the state. You guys are everywhere. We have 7 billion updates moving all over. Guys, if you guys want to do citizen science for us, you can download the MPing app. It's mobile found out in the ground. It's by the National Severe Storms Laboratory. You open up the MPing app, you can report the type of weather that's occurring in your area, and when you hit the submit button, go to the GPS location on your phone and send that report right here to the map. So, you guys want to science? You need to know. So you guys have the best eyes out there to see exactly what's happening. Radars have certain biasing, satellites that are out there. You guys have awesome tools. Maybe not so much for some of them. Most of them have pretty good tools. You guys have any questions on our selfies? We love Movie Twister so much that when buildings are built, we're going to have a space for you guys get to pick a name. So it was put to a building-wide vote. All these suggestions were coming in. 2 names ultimately were the ones to choose from that list. First one was ISO Bar and Grill. You guys know ISO Bar, yeah. Fresh air, exactly. The other choice is Flying Cow Cafe. Which one do you think won? Flying Cow Cafe, yeah. So over here in the southeast corner, with the Flying Cow Cafe, it's open from 7:30 to 8 Friday. It's open to everybody. It's also open to the public. If you guys are ever in the area, you want to have breakfast fun. Serve that. You'll never know. You might walk into a really famous somebody that is on the Mount Rushmore of meteorology. Right next. So anytime you're in the area, please come by. Questions for you guys. It's a beautiful day. We have some research vehicles that are outside the windows next to a backpack facility. Go past the security desk and out. Dalton Grossmeyer, yes. I saw him leave in his Jaguar for lunch, but I'm not sure.
Wrap up with that.
Yeah. He's got a Harley sitting at home in the garage. Send them out to the exit. Straight to this.
Wow, the network's getting worse and worse with every step.
This is a little bit.
Cell signal in here
Yeah.
somewhere.
We get it in here when we're outside a little bit. Alrighty, we're gonna go back into the vehicle bay area here. There is a red line that is drawn on the floor. If you can remain behind that red line at all times. We do have lasers in the ceiling, and I am not responsible for what happens to you if you cross those. So make sure you stay behind the red line.
Does that mean you're gonna get hit by a laser?
I'm authorized.
Oh, it said the lasers won't hit the authorized personnel. That's awesome.
I like how it is. Alright, actually, we're outside. We'll go outside. We are #1 in the nation in severe weather research, radar research. That is not surprising to anybody. I already told you recently I found 80% area that we are currently like so we have a lot of severe weather around. Problem is a lot of our observations, our radars are static. They don't move. They stick to one place. But sometimes the storm is not always exactly that radar is. And so we need to get out there and what's happening a little bit closer. So here at the vehicle bay, we have one of our mobile SNET vehicles. This is our brand new one, actually. We just got this about a month ago. It was out in Colorado doing some boundary layer stuff out there. So we have a hail-proof guard attached to the top of the truck here. We tested the hail-proof guard. It's up there to about 4 inches of hail, and they so we like birds. So we're not upset if our precious baby here gets intense. We will put these under storms that are producing large periphery of storms to look making our message mobile. These are also used for mobile sounding, so you do see some helium tanks that are here. Some big boats in the back part of the truck here, and currently into mobile stations. So we can launch weather balloons up into clouds with certain instruments attached. One of the instruments we attach to those balloons, you see it right up there on that laundry basket, that is our particle imager. You can see only use the most high-tech security job. Duct tape, styrofoam, all of that. We use that to figure out what type of precipitation is at different heights within the cloud. So on the right side, that blue area, that's actually a funnel, and there's LED lights and a black background. On the opposite side, we have a 4K camera, and the 4K cameras take pictures of so we're seeing transition zones, like water, ice particles, dendrites, all various things throughout the cloud. That for a lot of our micro stuff. We also have field bells to those balloons as well. So we can figure out the charge on all of those types of things. Because they'll have charge temperature depending on the moisture that's there in the atmosphere, driving factors. And so see a lot of questions.
How can you qualify that?
Right. Yes. So this white box right here is the plug box located. So that can store all the data. Sometimes we'll have like side. We have this. We've got a Dodge Ram platform outside. And then before we start using these like vertical haul trucks, we had Dodge Caravans, Dodge Caravans outside. If anybody has a Dodge Caravan, like a later model Dodge Caravan, we have lots of extra second and third row seating available. Different colors and upholstery, so feel free to take a look around. We can talk about pricing if you guys want any of this. Neither one. It's just whatever we can get our hands on. I know this one just was out in Colorado and it performed really well. So they've been really happy with the F2. We need those. Also partnering with Duke University, we have HIPs up there. We have parsifal spectrometers, some other things too. So we'll place those on the ground in certain places so that we can get ground truth for compare that to what we're seeing with the radar estimate. So it's very questions. How long will it last? As long as we can make it last. Yeah. We've had those Dodge Caravans for about 8 years now. So, as long as this thing holds up, and take a picture of this now, I guarantee you, if you were to visit August next year, it's gonna be hit that season. Pretty much guaranteed that. So, I know a lot of you are like, oh, but it's such a pretty truck. All right, we're gonna head outside so we can see some of our other vehicles. All right, so this is the rest of our toy garage out here. Like I said, we've made our radars mobile also. These are a couple of our smart radar platforms. Stands for Shared Mobile Atmospheric Research. So these are gigantic trucks. They get about 3 miles per gallon. We've got 2-gallon diesel tanks we can fill up and take these to various places. Our trucks are not just stuck here in the southern and central plains to look at severe weather. We've taken our radar trucks to lots of different places across the globe. They've been to Texas and Florida to scan hurricanes Harvey and Irma when those made landfall. Our radars have been up to Vancouver to scan snowfall during the Olympics. They've been to the Maldives to do tropical rainfall experiments. They've also been to France to do lightning studies. So really, anyone that needs any sort of mobile Doppler weather radar observations, we can disassemble these and take them anywhere on the planet. We've gotten a lot of use out of these. When we find a good spot, we've got some scout vehicles. You can see that we've got one of our Dodge, another one of our, that's a Jeep Cherokee over there. He's kind of our scout vehicle. They'll go and find a really good spot to set up. We don't want to be blocked by any trees or terrain or anything like that. So when they find a good spot, we've got these silver plates here on the back part of the trucks. We'll put those underneath our hydraulic feet, and then we'll lift the truck up and level it, make sure we're ready to go and that we're not tilted to either one side. And we'll unhinge the radars, and then we'll start scanning. We've got a generator to power everything on board. That's the silver thing you see on the left side of each vehicle. The tall white cabinets, those are the transmitter cabinets. They've got air conditioning units on top. That's where the radar signal is generated, and it gets sent out to the feed horn here, bounce off whatever out there in the atmosphere. Some of that power returns back to the dish, and then it gets fed back into the vehicle. We have displays inside. We can see that data in real time. So there's space for a driver, a navigator, and a radar operator inside each vehicle. My name's on the insurance policy for this one. So I've driven and operated this thing all over the U.S. Very cool. It's a very cool vehicle to drive around. People are a lot more polite to let you into certain areas when you're driving that compared to other large trucks like out there. So questions with our mobile radars? Yeah. These are C-band radars. So we're about 5 centimeter wavelength with these. The Weather Service radars are S-band. Those are the 10 centimeter. We do have some mobile radars that are X-band. Those are parked over at the Radar Innovations Laboratory. And the National Severe Storms Lab has NOXP, which is an X-band radar too, that's similar to these sizes. And that one's also used here and sometimes parked back in this area. Any other questions? We have mobile command units over here. We use these as our mobile ballooning stations as well, because inside an ambulance, yes, those are ambulances right there, there's a place to put an oxygen tank. And so we put our helium tanks in those places and use these to also launch balloons. And the PIs will sit in these vehicles too. You can see we've got RF antennas on top so that they can direct everybody in the experiment where they need to go. So those are be used as mobile command units. And then we have a couple more mobile mesonet platforms over there off to the right. So there's our Dodge Ram platform there. And then we have our Dodge Caravans parked right next to it as well. During larger field experiments, we'll rent a lot of these vehicles and we'll instrument them and have them set up with various parts around school. So that's kind of in our vehicle day area here. We launched 2 new weather satellites recently. GOES S, GOES R. They're now GOES 17, replacing the old GOES East and GOES West satellite. Those satellites would give us composite pictures of full disk of the United States every 15 minutes. But now with GOES 16 and GOES 17, we can get full disk for those, and we get space every 1 minute now. Every weather service office in the country is receiving a terabyte of extra data every day because of GOES 16 and GOES 17 satellites. So, you guys thought we were good at weather forecasting before these things? You haven't seen them. We're seeing them. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
What happens?
Space junk, yeah. Space junk. You guys seen Wall-E before? Yeah. There's a lot of space junk up there, and then we got to fit those satellites in between all that. So yeah, there are old satellites up there that aren't really that operational anymore. We're using 2 satellites now. So it's very similar to the Himawari satellite that's watching over Japan Pacific. So hopefully we'll have worldwide coverage with UMETSAT and with the GOES-17 satellites with Mawari. We'll have these high-resolution 1-minute images from space.
The reason why you don't run.
We could, yeah, we could.
That's what I was wondering if they would be because it's fake.
Yeah, there could. Yes. The trailer. Transportable dual polarization phased array radar. So if you're familiar with aircraft carriers from the 70s that had phased array faces on them, they have thousands of tiny elements. So instead of having a radar dish that tilts and rotates, you now have a flat panel that can trap beam radiation out of any one of those elements. We've been working with phased array technology here in Norman since about the 90s. We have a phased array radar up at North Base. It was recently decommissioned, but this October we'll be installing a brand new one. It's the advanced technology. So that'll be up at North Base. The issue that we've had with phased array, though, is it gives us new pictures. We get a new radar scan every 30 seconds a minute, which is fast. It's faster than a traditional Doppler weather radar scan. It takes anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes to do a full volume scan. The problem is we weren't able to get dual polarization from that pair flats. And so we weren't able to put together that phased array. We weren't able to put together the dual pole beam. So a lot of people devise these different schemes to be able to come up with that dual pole signature. So we had a researcher that came up with a cylinder using nearby elements of a giant cylinder in order to put together that beam. This is the first ever dual polarization and look it up. So, like I said, radar technology, that's all Norman, Oklahoma. So the stuff is being developed here by a number of different researchers in this area here. Transportable dual polarization. Questions? All right. Air conditioning. Back inside. We're going to go upstairs to the 5th floor. There, we're going to get some mountaineering skills in and go up to the observation deck.
So are you familiar with the Dark Sky app? Okay. So what it does is it uses has a model for self-string signal based upon your GPS to the cellular tower, and then based upon attenuation, it tries to infer the cloud and precipitation. So it's like a $3 iPhone app that gives you like hyperlocal rain maps.
I recall from Japan or so that they were doing that direction in their
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah, so it uses your cell phone attenuation based upon the current position of the tower and what's expected to infer. Yeah.
If you cover one of those sensors, it becomes a gamma ray. Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah. You would have worked with all of that stuff.
I wanted to ask you about the
yeah.
What was the polarization? What actually?
So by doing simultaneous transmits, even horizontal and vertical, we can get a cross section. So we can tell the size and shape and the orientation.
Just because they don't ever.
Right. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go up to the 5th floor. So everybody, as many of you that can file in here as possible, we'll take multiple groups up there. You take the stairs.
Actually, now that I think about it, I better be in the same group as you are.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go up to 5, and then we're going to take the stairs up to the observation deck. So folks that are taking the stairs right now are really going to get their workout in. Anybody else want to go here? We're going up to 5. You're actually going up the equivalent of about 13 floors by taking the stairs. So, and over here, this elevator. You guys.
Oh, there's a T-shirt print.
It is. We have a little bit of limited merchandise right now. So we've got, so yeah, exactly. Going to 5. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go up to 5, and then I will. You're gonna stay down here. You're gonna stay down here, okay? Middle elevator broke last night with my tour. Oh. But it's good that it happened then. It had been. We were waiting for it to just be on its last limb, and last night was the last night. Luckily, we made up to the observation. Observation deck. One last small set of stairs. Tiny stair set.
We talked about the theory. I saw the post office. That's open from barricades.
Yeah. Yeah, federal. Yeah, there's a lot of. So that's why everybody had to put back art. Otherwise, we'd have people. We don't really know what steps. We have Kevlar in the walls of the building here. We actually rated up to about 166 miles per hour. Bollards out front, security gates. But you notice they're not federal. With federal. So if it's the other way around, you got. So that's what makes our building. Who you go. What's that? What's that? No, we have international partners that come in here all the time. They just have to go through some additional clearance. Yeah. All right. This is the top of the building that you guys can get to. This is our observation deck. You get a beautiful 360 all the way around the building here. Yesterday there was a beautiful shelf under really nice view from up here yesterday. That's fun. What you'll notice is that most of the useful space up here is in this area, which faces the west. That's where most of our storm from west-southwest direction. That's why most of us. Unlike most people, we get very excited when we see severe weather headed toward our location. So as those storms are rolling in from the west-southwest, they start bouncing up and down and rocking back and forth. You could be bouncing up and down and rocking back and forth right now. We have bouncy chairs up here in the observation deck. So yes, you can bounce up and down to your heart's content while you're sitting up here in the observation deck. It gives you a nice seated view instead of your view being blocked by the big bars that are here. So this becomes a very popular spot whenever there are any storms around here. Question that you're probably thinking of right now is, guys, tornado. Back to 2010, tornado right across Highway 9. So it got a little exciting around here when we had that tornado in that part. I was in Wakita chasing a beautiful sleeper cell. It was rain wrapped. Side there. So we have had some close calls. We do have storm shelter here at the auditorium and the seminar room downstairs on the first floor. Those rooms are underground and surrounded by concrete. Everybody in the building can be directly down there to those places. This gives you a beautiful view of the OU campus. This is University Research Campus, made up of the Weather Center, the Radar Innovations Lab next door, which is home to the Advanced Radar Research Center. We've got radar meteorologists and electrical engineers that are working on new radar technology. We have our 5 Partners Place buildings, so Partners 1 and 2 here to the east, Partners 3 and 4 to the northeast, and Partners 5 all the way up there to the northwest. Our students and research complex here. All the way up north, you can see main campus for OU. Just to the right of the football stadium is Starkey's Energy Center. That's the former home of the School of Meteorology, the Oklahoma Climate Survey, and the college office. So we used to occupy the top 5 floors of that building. All of the federal partners that are here in the building used to be at Max Westheimer Airport at the North Base. You can actually see North Base from here. If you just look to the left of the football stadium, those are the dorm towers, Walker, Couch, and Adams. And then to the left of those, illuminated by the sun out there, you can see 2 white golf balls sitting on the tree line out there. KCRI and KUN, those are the research radars that are up there. So back in the 80s, former President Boren, who used to be a senator for the state of Oklahoma, was working with the OU partners here in Norman, come up with the idea of National Weather Center. House everybody in one shared collaborative space instead of being in different buildings. The OU and state groups are responsible for working with folks here in Oklahoma to bring in state appropriations, and then NOAA was working with federal entities to get federal appropriations to come up with the $69 million. It was moving really slowly until we had a really significant severe weather event here in Oklahoma that really accelerated all of this plan. Anybody know your weather out? What's the day? Yeah, which date?
Yeah, date.
The date. Oh, you know the date?
May 3rd, 99.
Yes, May 3rd, 1999. The largest tornado outbreaks of history. Over $1 billion in damage. Fastest wind speed that were recorded on planet Earth happened on that day. Over 300 mile per hour EF5 tornado that went. Speed. Again, it's building. 5 days after that event, President damage and more. Look at the speaker notes from that day. On that day. And so we broke ground for the Weather Center in November of 2002 and opened and dedicated the building September 29th of 2006. So actually, people were moving into this building well before that. About 12 years old here at the so 12 years. We've been through 12 years. Anybody know what used to be down here prior to 12? This used to be South Base Ukraine Navy planes. So on opening day, when we were getting our very first building up here in the outskirts, look out the windows. You didn't see University Research Campus. You saw red dirt and gold. So over the last 12 years, we've converted this University Research Campus. In these buildings, we have OU entities. We also have private companies, specifically private weather companies that are campus. Have any of you heard of examples of private companies? Weather News, yeah. Back to weather. How about Weather Channel? Yes, Weather Channel is an example of high weather. Did anybody go to Walmart and buy an umbrella this morning? But there's a whole bunch of umbrellas for sale. Walmart. Guess who's putting those umbrellas there? Meteorologists. They're working with all the distribution centers and warehouses across the country. I have a friend who lives in Brooklyn, New York. Companies went to these lines building based on You guys thought we just stood in front of a green screen. Yes, exactly. This is one of the best times of the year to buy stock. During hurricane season. Stock. Just giving you some insider tips. We have people sitting on Wall Street right now, whether buying and selling stock based on weather. Everything you do on a day, meteorologists involved in this because the second you step outside, even when you're inside, you're impacted by weather. And if we go to other planets, there's weather. The nice job security, knowing that weather's not going either. So, yeah. Yes. So there's a couple of different models that we use here in the U.S. We use the global forecast system model. We use the North American model. And then the European model is run by a private company in Europe called and in order to get the Euro model, they take the views from the member nation, upgrade their capacity. So there's funding coming in for those things. We're Department of Commerce, and so we rely on from NOAA. We have people that are in this building that are working on, have developed 40 hybrids that utilize some of the things we they both the GFS and the European model kind of run the same, time frame, so forecast that. It's just with those hybrid data simulation techniques, they're able to bring in up fast models. That's why all models have their own biases in certain ways. That's why we do a lot of ensemble forecasting now. So lots of different types of weather models and adjust the or change the and then get kind of all of those. Great.
The ensemble thing, just to give a better picture of what the everything is going those stuff thing is a numerical model. So it's all approximately all the way down. The business is a little bit different. The European model, and we came that off the model. Hurricane forecast. Working with the new model, brand new finite model, going to be sort of motherable model. Well, probably one model, and right now we're trading one of the global forecast. Give it enough person. Right. I'm working for whether we can only manage. Talking about changing. We actually business these different business like different ways to keep then we use something else to determine what estimate best the way I like it. Model pre-running on its own will wander off and never stop simulate current data, restart. You get a better.
So I hope that answered the most part.
For this group,
Yes. So let me talk about some of the groups that are down here at Research Campus with us. In Partners Place 1, we have the North American headquarters for weather news, the world headquarters for weather news in Japan. The group that's here in Norman, the North American headquarters for weather news, they do marine forecasting for global shipping companies. They route cargo ships from every body of water in the world on a daily basis. They relocated to California. The founder of the School of Meteorology, Yoshi Sasaki, was very instrumental in working with the partners to bring them here to Norman. First place, too, we have the National Weather Association headquarters, broadcast and academic meteorologists. See people on TV that have a certified seal of broadcast meteorologist from the National Weather Association. That means they are certified broadcast. The other one that you'll see is the American Meteorology Society. In Partners 3, we have the Tom Love Innovation Hub. It is a free creative space, 3D printing, laser etching, a full wood shop, and a visualization lab. And possibly think of space, and it's your intellectual property. So last Tuesday for about 3 hours, I had 107 posters that we're going to get out of the play. All free. So all I do is go and get rid of them. I have 107. They have the ability to take your picture in virtual reality and print out your very own action figure. Do that. Also in that building, we have Weather Decision Technologies, a private weather company. The soccer team that was stuck in Thailand. Forecast support was provided by Weather Decision. At Google that requested that they provide rainfall forecasts to the rest of their they provide weather support for the football team. Lightning support for the Kansas City Royals. What's that? Yes, they do. Mike Iles used to work for the National Security Fund. They also provide lightning support for the Kansas City Royals, Coffin Stadium. They route carnival and comfort. They also work with bands and musical artists, musicians to make them storm ready or weather. They have Lincoln Park being the first ever certified weather ready band, and 9 Inch Nails, the latest weather ready band. In Partners 4, we have the Office for Geocarb. It's our largest grant ever awarded here at OU's in massive $166 million grant for renting space on a communication satellite for 5 years. And we're going to put a carbon and vegetation sensor on it. It's going to sit just south of the equator. It's going to look at Amazon in North America and measure local changes carbon and vegetation. So very excited about that. Partners 5, we have the South Central Climate Adaptation Center. It's one of 9 climate adaptation interior. We have the Regional Office of Bureau of Land Management, PFAC, the largest mobile app producer in the Southeast, and we have CoreLogic, forensic meteorology, together lightning field. We also have flood assessment properties, flood of houses, and flood threat that maps all of those different partners are down here at Research Campus. We have plans for Partners 6. We have regions plans for a 96,000 square foot addition to the National Weather Center, and in addition to the radar. So we come back here and find it's quite a lot of research. Pretty big with our new president. So the increase this weather enterprise down here is about $400 million. Questions? We're going to go back down the stairs to 5. We'll take the elevators down to 2, unless you want to stairs all the way down. Well, just up the side, back to the stairs. And all this little elevator not being up. Exact location.
That's a better spot than being halfway between things.
Exactly. You get down to 2, just head toward the elevators. Each day. Elevators like yeah, plenty of space.
Probably got 2, right?
2, yeah. Some from there to here down to 2 elevators here available as well. All right, we'll meet right outside the elevators on 2. Got a couple more people. I'll send you guys down there.
You send us down?
Yeah. It's the party elevator. Oh yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them right now. I think we peaked. Oh, I think we peaked around 25 or so. But people have gone out to dinner or something. Especially the ones on the East Coast, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go back at those states. There's some times to be on your desk. Back double doors right here. We're going to visit the Storm Prediction Center, the National Weather Service Storm and Open City Forecast Office. Glass enclosed offices. So, like I said, downstairs, you guys are going to be awkwardly staring at people who are working right now. So don't tap on the glass. Don't feed the forecasters. We want to take pictures back here. Make sure you have the flash turned off on your cell phone. So start off at SPC and then work our way over to the forecast office. Give me a second here to open it.
I'm gonna do a data presentation.
Good. They'll probably miss that.
Well, they want to
Like,
hear
yeah,
you is part of the
exactly,
problem.
yeah. I can see it pretty close.
Okay.
Feel free to fill in the hallway, so you can stand along the front part of the window or against the back wall too. That works. Just make sure you can get a nice view. If they're behind glass, they won't bite. Oh no, they. That's why whenever we say anything wrong, that's why I say like, "Hey, why'd you say that?" All right, so this is the Storm Prediction Center. This is one of 9 national centers for environmental prediction. It's part of NOAA. If you've heard of the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, that's another example of a national center. Just like the Aviation Weather Center in Kansas City, Missouri, too. So there's 9 of these set up in different parts of the U.S. This group focuses on severe weather. This group is responsible for issuing every single severe thunderstorm and tornado watch for the continental United States. So pressure. The watches, severe thunderstorm and tornado watches. You are looking into the office correctly. There's about 4 to 6 people who work rotating 8-hour shifts. So this office is operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Because severe weather season runs from January 1st to December 31st. The atmosphere does not care what the calendar says. If the ingredients are there, you can get severe weather any time of the year. So that's why this group fits. So I'll talk about the different people in the office here so you know exactly what everybody's working on. We've got Aaron over here on the left, and then this desk right over here on the right. These are the mesoscale forecasters. So in meteorology, we scale things based on the size of the weather phenomenon. So we have microscale, mesoscale, nanoscale. So mesoscale is kind of the medium range stuff. So we're talking about thunderstorms, tornadoes. The nanoscale is like high and low pressure systems with jet streams, hundreds or thousands of miles. Microscale being those small, turbulent, heavy dust levels. They're really, really small. So these 2 mesoscale forecasters are responsible for looking to see where conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorm and tornado development across the lower 48. So there could be storms there right now. There might not be anything there right now, like bright blue, sunny skies, but conditions, the ingredients could be there for severe weather. So they're using radar, satellite, different weather prediction models, different environmental observation networks. We launch weather balloons twice a day from different weather service offices across the U.S. So if you're here in the front part of the office on the right, you can see stacked pieces of paper. These are observations from those balloons that go up twice a day in different heights of the atmosphere. We actually launch over 500 weather balloons worldwide every day to figure out what's happening from the ground all the way up to about 100,000 feet for the balloons to go up to. So all of that, they're compositing all of that information. They are making a judgment call on whether to issue a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch for that area. We don't have a program that puts all this stuff together and says, hey, you should probably issue a watch for this area for the person sitting down at that desk. So one responsible for actually issuing the severe thunderstorm or tornado watch is the lead forecaster. That's John Hart. I'm in the red block right on that right. He will be responsible for issuing that severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. He's not alone in that decision. Comes up with that decision collectively here in the office. They also have a coordination call with every National Weather Service office that's in the area that they're about to issue that severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. They can talk about it, discuss it, and change it if they need to based on feedback they're getting from those local offices. We also have an outlook forecaster, person that's looking out all the way beyond a week for severe weather potential. That's the gentleman sitting in the left corner behind a giant pillar here in the office. He's looking for the threat for large damaging hail, strong straight line winds, and tornadoes all the way out beyond the week. So we have different risk categories based on the potential for those different hazards in those areas. So we use a marginal, slight, enhanced, moderate, high risk for severe weather, depending on those particular areas. We also have a fire weather outlook forecaster in this office. That person usually sits in the back left corner of the office. Those are issued at certain times of the day, and that person will assist the mesoscale forecasters here in diagnosing what's happening across the 48. But those fire weather outlooks go out to forestry officials and other individuals across the U.S. for critical, elevated, and extreme areas of fire across the world. As you can imagine, the last several months have been pretty busy at that desk. We've had a lot of fires out in the west, so kind of front line for that here at the Center. The displays in the back, we got two satellite images there on the left side, so you can see different cloud top heights and temperatures and the moisture that's in the atmosphere. You can see we've got a tropical system there off the of Mexico. And the two on the right are radar mosaic products, so kind of a lower 48 mosaic, so you can see weather across the continental U.S. The white indicators that are popping up on there are cloud-to-ground lightning strikes from the National Lightning Detection Network. We have sensors set up throughout the U.S. that use finding to pinpoint where cloud-to-ground lightning strike happened. And so we can plot that using the National Lightning Detection Network. And on the right side is a kind of zoomed-in image of their area of interest or focus for today. So you can see they're kind of watching the tail end of that cold front ether here, watching down in South Texas. You can see that area of different storms there turning some of it's all over the place. Lots of different weather to look at for today, and then tomorrow's going to be fairly active up in the northern plains and down the southwest. Monsoon season, there's a lot of thunderstorms that happen now. So it might not seem like the April-May timeframe, but there is still some weather happening. Anybody have any questions at all here? There's 4 Weather Service offices in Alaska, and there's 1 in Hawaii. So in addition to issuing all the other advisories, watches and warnings, they'll also issue the severe thunderstorm and tornado warning. Same for fire. Same for fire. Yep. Questions? How many people in the U.S. do you think have had a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch each of their area?
All of them.
All of them. How many of all of them have seen this office? Pretty cool. You guys get to step behind the doors, behind the scenes. Yeah, so you actually get to see where that's coming from. Next time you see the ticker on the bottom of your TV screen, you hear it on the radio and it says the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Now you know that it's not a Pentagon-looking building with 1,000 people looking at severe weather. It's this office space with about 5. Yeah, so pretty cool stuff. No pressure. Any question? No pressure at all. Has anybody ever issued a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch in the area of New York City before? That tens of millions of people's plans change because you hit the button on your computer. Has anybody done that before? Yeah. So, pretty crazy. This is a career model, and if you're at the Storm Prediction Center, they will retire in this state. If you want to be a severe weather forecaster within the National Weather Service, that's where you want to be. So, some of the best are back here. You notice a lot of fairly young. So, there's been a lot of retirements recently, and some coming up here too. So there's a lot of new scientists that are coming.
Retirement, so it's forced or other.
Retirement, yeah. 44 years. Storm Prediction, yeah, Steve Weiss, over 40 years. Yeah, we don't like to retire because the weather's too fun. So I think Steve's wife actually. Any other questions back here? All right, last stop on the tour. We're going to go across the hallway here to take a look at the Norman National space. Favorite spot. All right, so there's only one storm prediction center anywhere in the U.S. You guys visited it. This is the Norman, Oklahoma City National Weather Service Forecast Office. There's 122 of these types of offices all over the U.S. because they have to cover all the individual counties and areas that make up the U.S., including the territories, Guam, and Puerto Rico as well. So there's 122 of these offices. Each of the offices is responsible for a county warning area, or CWA. Their county warning area is 48 counties in central and western Oklahoma, and they cover another 8 counties in the western North Texas area around Wichita Falls. So those folks that live in Wichita Falls, Texas, and surrounding areas, this is actually their National Weather Service Forecast Office right here. Inside your Weather Service Forecast Office, you'll typically find about 2 to 5 people working rotating 8-hour shifts. Again, office, just like the Storm Prediction Center, is operational 24/7, 365. The difference between the two offices is there's significant weather happening in their county. That could be severe weather, winter weather, flooding, fire weather. You're going to see a lot of people inside your local weather service office because there's a lot of things that have to be done on a local level to make sure all the alerts go out to everybody in those respective areas. If there were 50 tornadoes on the ground right now in the United States, the Storm Prediction Center that we just visited would look exactly the same right now. So they sent out the watches already to alert people that there's severe potential in those areas, and that is the end of their responsibility. They may have to move and adjust those watches as the storm systems are moving, but basically, once they get those watches out, it's up to the local offices as the storm are imminent to issue any sort of warnings or other products. That type of weather. What's really nice about the weather service offices nowadays, the newer offices especially, or ones that are being remodeled, is that you don't have walls in between. You don't have those cubicle spaces. It's a lot more open, so you can talk to each other and face each other. And then in the back is called the situational awareness display. Those TVs there in the back, kind of a general overview of what's happening in their forecast areas. They can bring up a variety of different products. As you can tell, so we have the Mesonet here in Oklahoma. They're covering 48 counties in Oklahoma. They can see exactly what's happening with those counties, weather every 5 minutes. They've got a variety of their products brought up there. We had a lot of rainfall, so they're obviously looking at flood potential for certain areas here in Oklahoma as we get additional rainfall next couple of days. So we'll be watching those pretty closely. They can bring up local broadcast TV. So when the TV affiliates here in Oklahoma City and then down in Wichita Falls, when they have people that are going out during any sort of weather, they can see live reports from those folks and then update their warnings as they sit. They're getting those out to those folks. The 3 computers underneath the display in the back are running all 3 Doppler weather radars that are in their county warning area. And so that's the Vance Air Force Base radar, the Twin Lakes radar, and the Frederick radar down in southwest Oklahoma. They can actually change how the radar is tilting, scanning, rotating, so it changes the volume coverage pattern by just last part of this office is right over here next to me, this little fishbowl area. This is where they do their webinars. They do weather briefings over here as well. They can record those and put them online on social media. It's also the location of the weather event simulator. Training division that's here in the building has created something called the weather event simulator, where we archive past weather events, lots of different varieties of weather events. And we can put forecasters through training simulations so they feel like they're actually in that weather scenario. It allows them to train on new products, tools, and techniques that are developed at the National Weather Service for use in operational models. So we're not like Apple, where we send you guys a new update and you have to click the button to agree to the user terms, all that stuff. And then the button that you used to use doesn't do the same thing that it does anymore. Or if you press it harder, it actually does something differently. Yeah, we want our forecasters to be comfortable with those new updates when they come out. And so that's why we have the weather event simulator available at all weather service offices so they can get that practice with those new products and tools. So, questions for anybody here for this update? At the Storm Prediction Center. So most people that go to the Storm Prediction Center, they don't really jump right into it. You can actually go right into it having a degree from college, but most people will work at a local weather service office first, get experience within an operational environment, the weather service, and then they can transition when the job might open up as well. Very competitive to get the job storm prediction center because there's only a limited number of stations there. They have about 20 forecast positions there at the storm prediction center. So, like I said, very selective. So we actually just hired 4 new forecasters. We had 4 vacancies up until about all of those filled out. Any other? Why aren't they automated? Computers are really bad at. Yeah. It's not. It's not. Yeah, computers are actually pretty bad at processing all that stuff. There's a human element that can't get on that. I'll give you an example. Let's say that there is a winter storm event that is headed to Atlanta, Georgia. So it's forecasted to hit Atlanta area at 5 p.m. You know what the traffic looks like in Atlanta at 5 p.m. Now a computer would say, okay, we're going to issue this winter storm warning at 5 p.m. If you're working inside a weather service office, they're probably going to say, let's issue the winter storm warning at 2 p.m. That gets people 2 hours to get home from their business. So there's a certain skill and a certain the human element that computer doesn't have, and also being able to posit lots of different data sources, right, that have a variety of biases, things like that, to put together a document. We typically out for now. Yeah, it could be.
Machine learning will fix it, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing AI and machine learning stuff. Questions. Japan tried to replace all their broadcast meteorologists with computers and holograms that would go over the weather. Less than a month. People said, we miss seeing a person telling us the war. Yeah. So you guys will miss us. These people, everybody in weather service office take their products. We actually create like all these like right if somebody experiences casualties in their area after they issue a tornado warning, that forecast goes like a fall. So we have a lot of people that these people exist. Mission State Weather Service protection of life and property will exist to protect every single one of us. And so that's why they're here. That's why they're all over the best jobs. They take all that very, very so hard at this. It's hard. It's chaos here. It's unpredictable. Tell me how your brackets. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna head back out the couple doors and back down to the first floor. All right, scrap the doors here. Yeah, we do lots of drills. NATO drills, fire drills, active shooter drills. So we've got lots of that's pretty good. and then our security.
Once upon a time, the Waco area down in Texas, they shut that down. Is that around Fort Worth?
I think so.
Was
Yeah.
that related to the big changes that they moved the weather, the weather service here, or
So yeah, well, the Weather Service used to be the Weather Bureau, and the office that we just visited used to be up in Mississippi. Storm Prediction Center used to be in Kansas City, Missouri, until '97, and they decided to move it. So that caused a big up. But they're like, Kansas City used to be the central headquarters of all communities. Aviation Weather Center is still there. The training center is there for the National Weather Service also.
I was just wondering if there was a consolidation of the weather forecast centers or organizations. Yeah, like you talked about.
There's regional headquarters within the Weather Service. There's a lot of offices in DC. There's research groups and other offices in Boulder as well. It's like Boulder, Norman, and DC are kind of the big weather.
They have got consolidating weather warning and forecast offices into hubs that would, and just leave maybe one or two people interfacing with the local communities. That has been shot down repeatedly because it's not real popular with local communities and emergency managers and government officials, and it's not real popular with meteorologists. If you start consolidating like that, you need more meteorologists to the organization because, we've got economies of scale, but you lose the capability for a severe weather event or multiple severe weather events of actually being able to cover. Because we can call in everybody up here for something like the first bad one I was here for was the 2013 Moore event. And everybody was in, people in from test beds to do some work. So with that in mind, the number of people that could work that event from a warning and forecast perspective is more than a consolidated office covering maybe 20 cities in Canada.
Anyone have any last questions at all? All right. Thank you all so much for coming by here to check us out. You can call your family, friends, relatives, strange neighbors about us and have them come by and tour the building, let me show them around.
Let's not do the strange thing.
Strange neighbors may not say. You guys, with your visitor badges, you can remain here on the first floor if you want to stick around for a little bit longer. Restrooms are up the corner here downtown the Square. You can check out the visitor center here. When you're ready to leave, just make sure that you turn in your visitor badges. If you got one for me with the security personnel that are right there at the front door. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a good rest of your day.
So how's enrollment for